Hey guys, how's it going? So yeah, this is Mercy, and let's see, it's the second Mercy wig that I've made. So I think, let's see, Marzipancakes cosplay, which I think is the username that she goes by now. Let me check. No, she commissioned the first Mercy wig from me that I made a few years ago, and I'm really grateful to her for doing that, because like working on that wig is what gave me the techniques that I needed to learn in order to like improve. And I mean, that wig was a few years ago, so there's definitely some improvements, but I used the same like method to create the ponytail, or at least the updo part that I did for the last wig, that I took all of the wefts out except for the ones like on the very top. I took them all out with a seam ripper, and I actually hand sewed them back in, but in like a spiral pattern or like a U pattern on the back with the wefts facing in, so that they would all kind of like fold up the right way. And I bought like a netting, like, you know those wigs where the inside is just like this net? I bought one of those and I sewed that to the inside so it would have something to like go on. Leggy the Eggy says hello. Hello, let me know if you have any questions about this wig or other wigs and I will answer them. Yeah, and then for like the inside layers of that hair, I cut them really short and I sprayed them up like in about 2-inch sections at a time, like layer by layer, so that it created like a nice smooth ponytail. And then I created like this stub in there of it. So yeah, that's how I did like the updo part. And then on my last Mercy wig tutorial, people got mad because like there's a bunch of people that commented as being like, I was watching this video so I could learn how to do the bangs, but you didn't go over that. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Norkly says hi. Hey, hello, welcome, how's it going? Let me know if you have any questions, I'll answer them. But yeah, so basically what I did to create the bangs was I took all the hair, and I didn't add any extra hair to these bangs. It's a lace front, so it was already pretty thick. And so I took my comb that has like the little, let's see, where is it? Has a little piece to it, like this guy, to separate it. And I took like a layer of hair away from everything, so that was gonna be the smooth hair for on top. And then I took the rest and I teased it, and I just did it like really small amount at a time. And so I teased it and I built it up to this shape, and I took all that teased hair and I gathered it the way I wanted it to, and I sprayed it, and I used like a hair dryer to make that solid. And once it was in the shape I like, then I took the extra hair that I put aside to be smooth, and then I combed it on top and sprayed it in place. So that's how I got like these. The only added hair on the bangs are these two little guys. And so like those were literally, I don't know if you can see the top here. Yeah, they were literally like, I took extra hair that I had and I made the spike separately, and then I just glued it on there. Oh, Sunlight Break sends me a heart. Which is the same thing that I did for like these spiky little fellows. I just made the spikes separately and literally like slap them on there. And so these little spikes are a little bit bigger than what Mercy like technically has, but the way that I had it styled, I thought that the shape of how everything looked, building them up a little more, would just make it look better. Okay, so Ojai, I think E-A-U-J-A-I-I, I don't know if I pronounced that right, I'm sorry if I did. Says, how much spray / gel do you get through to have all of that hold in place the way you want it? I usually go through like 1 can of hairspray per wig. So glue, not so much. Glue I only use like right for the little tips mostly. So actually I have like a tiny, this has lasted me like 2 or 3 wigs, and it's like a teeny tiny little thing. So sometimes I'll use like this glue, tacky glue, or like sometimes a little bit of Fabri-Tac to make some parts solid. Like I added a little bit of tacky glue around here just to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. So I'll go through a little bit of that, but mostly I just go through a ton of hairspray, like so much hairspray. But I want to make sure that it's like really rock solid so that when I send it out and it goes through the mail gods are kind to me and don't destroy the wig. Yeah, so I glued these two little top spikies on. And so the interesting part about like making this wig for me was doing the ponytail. And I want to give proper credit to the person that came up with this method, and I want to say it's one of the people I follow on Instagram, and I can't remember exactly who it is. It's one of three people that I follow. It's either Hidori Hope or Rent Chan, or there's this other person that I follow. It's like Kuronoichi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. They're the one that posted this method, so I thought that I would like try it out. I did not come up with it. So Togi Cosplay asked, what is the best spray gel that works best for stiff spikes? These are the two brands of hairspray I use exclusively, so like Got to Be Glued and Freeze It. They're both good. The main difference is they smell a little different. This one I think stays tacky a little longer, where this one gets harder quicker. And then this is really good for doing like a broad spray. Like it has a wide kind of spray. It's good for getting everything all over, and this has a more like direct spray. So it's good for if you only want to spray like a little part. And then I use Got to Be Glued spiking. So that's the best one. But yeah, so the way that I did the ponytail was I stubbed the wig around a bottle. And so I took like a Coke bottle and I cut the top off, and I cut a couple of darts in it, and I have it on the inside. So I'm gonna actually like take this off and show you what I mean. What? So crazy, it's like an onion. But let's see if you can see this. So on the inside, you see that is the Coke bottle in there. So I put the Coke bottle in and I made the ponytail stuff around it, and then this hair is actually attached to the cap. So I'm ready for this magic right here. But yeah, so the cap is in here to the Coke bottle, and you can see I have like some wire that I made like spirally, and I put it through like a hole in the cap. I have a couple pieces of wire going through, and the wire is going into a piece of foam that I painted. It's just like a little piece of foam right here that would make sure that the ponytail would stay properly upright and be firm and not like droop really bad over time. And then I just like glued a bunch of hair to the actual foam itself, and then I used that hair to make these. This one actually is there's another little piece of foam in there, and I took like another piece of foam and I have like a wire going in from this piece of foam to this piece of foam so that it would be like really poofy here and keep its shape, but it would also be able to move naturally and not be like one whole solid thing. This is the bottle cap. And again, thank you. Ojai said that is ingenious. Again, I did not like come up with this. I saw someone else do it and I thought that I would try it out. So I'm not trying to take credit for this brilliant idea. Little hair ties around here to help keep that in place when I was putting it up. But now, when I send it out, I can put this on the wig head and then I can pack this separately, and so it will like stay together, like it won't crack, it won't break, and I can use like a smaller box, and it's just like overall safer to ship. See, that also seems like a good idea for changing up wigs to do multiple designs. Yeah, I thought the same thing. If you're doing like different versions of Mercy, I know there's like one where she has short hair and like a hat or something, and you can just take the ponytail right off and just wear it like that. But yeah, if characters have different kinds of updos like buns or ponytails, or like if you're doing maybe Sailor Moon and you wanted buns that are regular and then buns that have the gem on it or something. Yeah, I agree. It's also good for con travel. That's another reason that I thought of doing it this way, because if you're traveling a long way for a con, you need to pack it in a suitcase. It's really hard to pack something that's this shape in a suitcase and hope that it doesn't get like messed up. That's like more or less how I made it. Let me know if you guys have like any more questions about this wig in particular, or like any other wig, because why not? We're already here, right? And this is a commission for Blossoming Cosplay, aka Jen, who is a friend of mine, and I'm really excited because she's gonna look so cute. See, I wonder how well that would work for horns or other aesthetics. Yeah, I think that something like that would work for horns, probably for bigger horns that you need to be like really sturdy. Probably for smaller horns, you could do something. You could probably still like screw it on, but maybe with like actual screws or something smaller. But yeah, definitely for like big guys. It's the way that the inside of the bottle kind of cups around the head that keeps the whole thing like sturdy. So I thought that it was really cool. Wish that I had come up with that idea, but can utilize it at least. So if you guys ever get wig commissions from me, I always send out like little care packages, like instructions on how to take care of stuff, and I'm always like available to help if you have any problems with your wigs like in the future and stuff. The best RM said hi. Hello, how's it going? I usually send out all my wigs on like these kind of standard mannequin wig heads, just the ones you can get for like $6. As you can see, it's like, it's too big on this because these are not the size of like normal heads. So I never style, especially updos on these kinds of wigs, because it's gonna be a bad time. Super bad time. And I have it on this little styrofoam stand because when I set it up in the box, I don't want this to like fold and get crushed. So I'm gonna hot glue this to the bottom of the box so that it's really sturdy. And then I have these little hair nets that I also use. I guess this is turning into how I pack wigs kind of thing, because why not? We're still here. I've like changed the way that I've packed wigs a lot over the years, just from like experience. I feel like each time I pack it in a slightly different way, just from learning new stuff. Yeah. Let's see, how long does it take you to complete a wig on average, and what is the process you go through to tackle a particularly difficult wig? Oh, my Instagram is pronounced OJ. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry, yeah, I was like, oh, let's see. I actually have, like, I keep track, I've been trying to keep meticulous track of how long wigs take me to do so that I can price them more accurately, because sometimes I'll average it out and be like, oh, I made like, you know, $10 an hour on this wig, which is like, it's pretty, it's minimum wage, but it's decent. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, I only made like $4 an hour on this wig, which makes it like really not worth it. But yeah, so the longest wig was the Axel wig that I just completed, which was 60 hours. So it's a long time, a long time to be like staring at something. And then I've done like a Shion wig from Kingdom Hearts 2 that took me 5 hours. So like, usually it takes me at least 5 hours for even really simple wigs because if someone's commissioning me to make a simple wig, I'm gonna make it like the best damn simple wig I can, right? Like I'm gonna really put time and care into it to make sure that it looks good. But like on average, usually I wanna say between 20 and 30 hours. I have like one that I did, like another Axel wig that was 50 hours. And like Sora is usually 20 to 25 hours. So somewhere along that that range. And so when people aren't happy with like the prices that I quote them, it's like I am literally murdering myself to give you the best wig I can. I'm spending so much time, putting so much love into it. Please pay me. So so your Zelda was the best. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Gosh, that was an old cosplay. Yeah, I also made this so that like the little hair tie could be replaced because I just made like a little doohickey hair tie in case she wanted to change it at any point. Yeah, I'm gonna put these two pieces into fishnets and then put them in the box with a bunch of bubble wrap and stuff. I tend usually not to purchase bubble wrap because it's not very environmentally friendly. So I'll usually use any bubble wrap that was like already in a package that was sent to me in the mail, or sometimes I'll use like newspapers, usually just whatever I have. I rarely have to like buy stuff for it. How do you go by if someone is a little smaller than an average person? So if you're talking about like if someone's head is smaller than average, I always ask for measurements. Pretty much always just like to make sure that it's standard. I have like smaller wig heads, and what I'll do is I'll have someone give me detailed measurements of the head, and if I feel like it doesn't fit one of the wig heads that I already have, for example, like this wig head, which is the kind of wig head that's like made to be styled on. It's like actually the shape of a head. It has like the measurements, like this one has a 22-inch circumference and everything. But I will take like newspaper and tape, and I'll actually build onto a styrofoam head and make it the measurements that they sent me and style it on that. It depends on what kind. Like if it's an updo like this, the measurements have to be really precise, or at least mostly precise, because if it's really too big or really too small, it's going to be a much bigger problem on a wig like this than on a wig that isn't styled as like dramatically, I guess. I'll also ask like, what's the measurement like from your hairline to your chin, for example, because if the character has a swoop that is like above chin level or lower or at chin level or something like that, I want to make sure that it's going to fit on their head as well. And obviously like it's not to scale on these, because these wig heads, they're really just more for display. They're not very functional at all. I always get so sad, like happy and sad when I send wigs off, because I'm like, I'm so happy that this person is gonna get the wig they want, and they're gonna get the cosplay, and they're gonna look so good, and like I got really psyched for that. And then at the same time I'm like, saying goodbye to a child. Goodbye, my child. Be good. Eat your green beans. I think about them. Like every wig that I've ever sent out, I'll think about at one point or another. Just like, I wonder how they're doing. I wonder if they're being kept on a wig head. I wonder if they're being kept out of the rain, you know? So it's a little ridiculous, but I just put so much care, you guys. I just put so much care into each wig that I send out that like, I just want everyone to be happy. If I've gained, you know, an extra 200 hours of wig styling experience, it's your wig, like it's just going to be better. Like, I can't help it, I'm sorry. But I mean, I've never gotten any complaints about that. But it is like a fear of mine. But I'm like super grateful to all the commissions I get, because like when I wind up redoing a wig that I've already done before, it's like, okay, I already have like a game plan going into this. I already have enough knowledge to like know where to start and to know where I struggled last time. I don't mind doing the same wig more than once. I've done it like, I'm never doing another axle commission, or at least I don't plan on it, because like that one is like so time consuming, and the past 2 axle commissions I did were definitely the ones where I lost I don't want to say I lost the most money, but like the price did not wind up being worth the amount of like time that I spent on it. And I don't really care about that so much. Like, I love the creative process of making the wig, and I love the way it stands up. Like, it's like a passion project, right? But if I'm going at it from a business standpoint, the wigs that take me 25 hours or less wind up averaging at like a livable wage for me. So like, I enjoyed the challenge of doing, let's see, I've made 2 axle wigs for myself and then 2 axle wigs for a commission. So I'm at a point now where I'm like happy with the progress I've made, and I probably wouldn't do that again. But most other wigs, like, I'd be willing to do again. I've done a bunch of Sora wigs at this point, especially if you include Vanitas as well. I've done like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 Sora wigs for other people, not including the like 4 or 5 I made for myself. Which is harder, Roxas, Axel, Mommy, or Demix? I'm assuming you mean Mommy from Madoka Magica. I did do a Demix wig, it was a long time ago. Demix is definitely the easiest out of those 4. Mommy would probably be the second easiest, because the only really like styling to do is the wig drills, and I've made a lot of wig drills. So that one, like not as hard, would probably take less time. And then Axel is the hardest. Roxas is complicated, there's a lot of spikes, but with Axel, the challenge with the Axel wig is that the spikes are so long and there's so many of them. And the hair looks like a little different at each angle. So you have to make sure that the spikes are at exactly the right angle so that they look right when you're facing forward, but also right to the side. So like fine-tuning that and getting each one of those spikes exactly right is like maddening. It's so hard. Well, thank you. OJ says it's really interesting hearing your process. Yeah, I mean, if you have any like other questions about like processes for my other wigs, like whenever I'm working on a wig, I'm thinking about it like all the time. Like when I'm at the gym, I'm like running, and like the whole time that I'm running, I'm just thinking about how I'm gonna make the wig when I get home. Like I'm putting it together in my head like constantly. And sometimes like I'll try different methods for different wigs and then change the method that I'm gonna use for the next one based on like how I did on the last one. But it's fun, it's like a puzzle, because I'm trying to take something that I see in a game or in an anime or something and like make it work against the laws of physics, of the laws of gravity, to make ridiculous styles. So it's fun, yeah. Then let's see, it's 3 o'clock, so I'm probably gonna start winding it up soon. So if you guys have any more questions you want to throw at me about wigs, send them my way. And if not, then I don't know what we're gonna do next. The thing that makes me happiest is like when people will message me after they've worn the wig to like a convention or something and tell me that they had such a great time, or that like they really loved wearing the wig, or that they got a lot of compliments on it. Like that's the gift right there. That's the stuff that warms my heart. Let's see, if you had a wig goal to make as the biggest project you'd like to get to? I mean, I'd be curious to try and style like some kind of Yu-Gi-Oh wig, maybe Yama Yugi, or like something else, because they're so geometric and like crazy. At one point I really wanted to style like Nui from Kill la Kill, but after I did Rose Quartz, I'm thinking that I don't think I actually want to do that. I'd like to style a rose quartz wig again. I had a lot of fun with the last one, and I definitely have new ideas of what I would like to do next time I do one. The problem I had with that wig was shipping, because it was big and it was heavy, and the person I was shipping it to, I think, lived in like Norway or something, somewhere really far away, so the shipping wound up being like a lot for that. Probably want to do it for a more local person, or someone that like doesn't care and is willing to throw money at shipping like it's nobody's business. Like for the Seymour wig commission I did, it was like a local pickup, which worked out well because if you guys have seen that wig, like the spikes are like 3 feet long. So where do you get all of your base wigs, and do you hand dye any? The airbrush you did on Axel was amazing. Thank you, my friend Maggie let me use her airbrush for that. So that was actually my first time using one, and it was a lot of fun. People have been asking, so that I used acrylic ink to do like the tips, and so that's water-based. And I used that because I needed it to be opaque, because I was trying to make a dark color brighter. And I used that in the airbrush, diluted with some water, and then for the base I used a black and purple alcohol-based ink diluted with some alcohol. Yeah, and so I do hand dye some of my wigs, especially if they have some kind of a gradient, or if I can't find a color that's quite right. Usually the way I do it is I put either alcohol-based ink or pigment from a Sharpie into a spray bottle with rubbing alcohol, and then I like spray the whole thing down in layers and let it dry. Where I get my base wigs, so my favorite place to get base wigs is Epic Cosplay. I think they have really good prices. I really like the quality of their wigs. The base wigs that I got for Axel were Epic Cosplay. I like the color selection that they have. They just got really nice wigs. I do get wigs from artists sometimes as well. I've had some problems with them like being out of stock quite frequently. Like there was a commission that I was doing where I had a wig on back order, and it took a really long time, like 3 months or something, to come in. So I missed the original deadline because I didn't have any wigs to work with. So, but yeah, this one is from Wig is Fashion. Yeah, this one is from Wig is Fashion, which is great for lace fronts, because this one's a lace front, and the wigs are really thick. I've had some issues with them before getting the extensions. Like this one time I got extensions, but they were the wrong color because they didn't have like an option to select the color. Yeah, those are usually like my big ones. Is Wig is Fashion for like long wigs and lace front wigs, Epic Cosplay, and then if Epic Cosplay doesn't have what I want, then Arta is where I go. If someone were to do an unboxing of your wig, would you join in the video, or at least like to see your wigs have an unboxing? Yeah, I would love that. Be in the video if you mean like do some kind of joint cam, like joining live video thing, then like sure, why not? Like if someone wanted to do that, then as long as I was free, like sure. And yeah, you know, when I send the wigs off into the world, I don't necessarily ever expect to hear anything back, because a lot of times like I'll send them out and then that's it, and no one keeps in contact with me, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like you paid money, and so now it's yours. So like you do what you want. But when people do send me either like pictures of the wig that they got, or pictures of them in the wig, or you know, let me know that they got it and that they liked it, that's always like a huge plus for me, because you know, I do this to make people happy, and to be able to actually like hear that and like see that is like really makes it all worth it. So I would totally love to see like an unboxing of a wig. To be honest, your wigs are a goal for me. Thank you so much. That really like makes me happy to hear. I've worked on wig styling for a really long time, and there's a lot of people that I really looked up to, and I just gotta say that like, oh, bye Jonah. Like just keep working on stuff, and and you'll reach your goal. Just keep at it, because like, I don't know if you guys haven't seen my first wigs, but they were like the worst, the actual worst. They were atrocious, and like I just kept styling wigs for like 9-10 years, and I watch tutorials and I like just am like persistent about it, and that's why I've had growth. So, but yeah, thanks so much guys for like joining me on this live video Q&A thing. I've never done anything like it, so I don't know, let me know if you liked it, if you want me to do more stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, I hope that I answered your questions that you had and gave you a little bit more insight into the process of this wig. It was really fun, and yeah, thanks again for joining me everybody, and have a great rest of your day.